So, we're going to be getting into a little bit of nuclear drama. Now, obviously, it's not too bad, to be fair. I think this guy is just a little bit of a troll. But I wanted to go through this video, which says Wuthering Waves toxic official content creator desperately slanders other games to revive wuwa hype. Now, if you don't know the content creator they're talking about, it's Ryuku. You know, we all know Ryuku, nice guy. You know, he made a video talking about why Honkai Star Rail sucks. You can see the video just there on the thumbnail. And again, I think he made some really good points about why Honkai Star Rail's story and the storytelling isn't great, because it isn't, in my opinion. I don't think it's good. Now, the overall lore and stuff might be a little bit good. Did you know he lives in Japan? Bro, that joke every time, bro. Did you know? No, I do think he has got some very good points, and it was actually received very well by a lot of people. But obviously, there are some people that disagree very heavily, especially, you know, Honkai Star Rail enjoyers that don't really like this. Or, in this case, gacha enjoyer, who I have seen a little bit around. They got 200 subs, but they do get a lot of views on some of their videos just due to a lot of debating. So, yeah, 110 likes and 32 dislikes, which is kind of concerning. We're going to go through some of the comments after this as well, because some of them are kind of crazy. I'll be honest. I agreed with Ryuku Sensei 100% in that video. Exactly. I think he had some really good points, and he didn't just like straight up hate on Honkai Star Rail either. You know, it was a mix of stuff. I love Honkai Star Rail, but the 2.6 story main event made me want to pull my teeth out. Yeah, exactly. Let's get
breaking news.
Oh god.
Our informant have received.
First of all, we're 1 second into the video. If you want to make kind of drama content about this, it's totally fine. I totally get it. And I know, you know, sometimes I do it. Sometimes, you know, we got my boy Atoma who's doing it. We got all these guys that make, you know, some kind of drama content. Let's be real. But people like this who, like, again, I totally get the kind of stuff about VTubers sitting behind it. I know, it's like, oh, I'm a VTuber and I'm sitting behind a model. But the extra layer of text-to-speech, not even speaking in your videos, is like, bro, you know, bro is scared for his life that he's going to get called out or found out because he says something bad about a, you know, content creator. And I'm pretty sure this is a lot of the videos. I don't think they speak in any of their videos. He's like, bro, come on. If you're gonna call out someone, at least talk in your own voice.
Crucial information regarding the salty Wuthering Waves community again.
Okay.
This time, the toxic wuwa community is going after a turn-based game for some reason. Through our investigation, we found that both games have released new information about their latest huge expansion. Yeah,
so we had lots of drip marketing, which again could be a bad or good thing for Wuthering Waves. I don't really know. Obviously, Wuthering Waves, the first part is that, you know, they released a lot of the characters. They actually did it first, and then Honkai Star Rail went, hey, hold my beer, and then just released all of their stuff as well, which some people could argue kind of overshadows Wuthering Waves' stuff, but honestly, I don't think it's too bad.
Wuwa have released a promotional video, as well as several art for their upcoming characters, hoping to generate hype. A few hours later, a small turn-based game have also released their own promotional video about the latest expansion and drowned out all the hype for Wuthering Waves. Out of jealousy and spite.
I'm sorry, I love the sped up Ryuku, just like I hate Honkai Star Rail, it's the worst game I've ever seen. Wuwa marketing was too good to be overshadowed this time. Yeah, I think so. I think that, you know, it was so good that they kind of like existed, you know, with each other. That was the video? I thought this was TTS. No, yeah, bro. This is the video. They're hiding behind TTS, which is kind of funny. Small turn-based game, yeah, bro.
The Wuthering Waves community have decided to shit on the turn-based game as their own game failed to meet expectations.
Right. I think, honestly, Wuthering Waves did meet their expectations. Actually, I think they exceeded their expectations. I honestly think they did way better than a lot of people thought they were going to do. Obviously, a lot of people did think, like, oh, you know, Wuthering Waves, you know, it's probably not going to do that good. It's going to be a bit like Tower of Fantasy, you know, it's just going to fall off, and it's just like, because a lot of people kind of spout it as like the Genshin killer and stuff like that, which obviously, you know, people go, oh, it's going to be the Genshin killer, and it makes it seem like it's doing much worse because people will put it up against stuff like Genshin. But in its own category, kind of getting to that amount of money in the time that they did, I think they exceeded the expectations that they had set for themselves. And I think, honestly, Wuthering Waves has been doing great, and with rinascita, it's only going to go up. I played Genshin for 4 years, and I can no longer move back to it after experience wuwa. Love Genshin, but we should all move over it now, yeah. Is this Icon Bow? I don't think it is Icon Bow, it's just gacha enjoyer. Maybe they can speak English, yeah, maybe. But again, you know, I do think it's a little bit cowardly, but okay. I think some people are coping and seething because wuwa is exceeding expectations. Exactly, and I think that saying it's underperforming is just disingenuous. But again, a lot of this video is a lot of rage bait, so we are going to see a lot of kind of crazy kind of takes like that.
These official wuwa content creators, just like the devs Kuro Games, are desperately trying to divert attention to their game by shitting on another. A deeper look into them shows that they have a...
And bro, they're trying to do like some big analysis on Ryuku, and a lot of the videos that they pull up here, they say that he's a Wuthering Waves creator, and that he only covers Wuthering Waves, and that, you know, he's a Kuro Shill. But the fact is, a lot of these videos that he's brought up, now obviously I know that he says like, this sucks, Genshin could never, they have issues, stuff like that. He's brought up a lot of these videos, but also he's brought up a lot of his Power Word videos. You know, his videos aren't just stuff like, you know, hating on Honkai Star Rail or you know, glazing Wuthering Waves. He does a lot of content on other stuff, and he doesn't just glaze Wuthering Waves, you know. I'm pretty sure he has brought out a lot of the kind of issues with Wuthering Waves. So, again, I think it's kind of like disingenuous to kind of say that he's kind of, you know, just a Wuthering Waves glazer, and that, you know, that's why he's making the video on Honkai Star Rail. No, I think he definitely has a kind of like issue with Honkai Star Rail, and it's nothing to do with Wuthering Waves. It's nothing to do with another game that he plays. He just doesn't like the game. It's kind of remarkable how these games that primarily single player can generate so much hate and disdain online. I'm not sure why people feel so strongly about it and need to be validated. Exactly. I feel like, you know, Ryuku, he can make whatever video he kind of wants. I honestly think that, you know, he does a really good job for the Honkai Star Rail and stuff community, because he's kind of pointed out the flaws in the story. And I think that if he wants to share that opinion, it's totally fine. But I don't think that, you know, comparing it, like, I don't think he even compared it to Wuthering Waves, did he? Maybe he did. I didn't, you know, really pay attention too much to the whole video. But the main concept of the video wasn't comparing it to Wuthering Waves or anything like that. He just said that he didn't like Honkai Star Rail, and you just come up with the kind of excuse of, oh, he plays Wuthering Waves, so it must be that. It's like, bro, no.
History of shitting on
Machine generated voice,
probably
script also. Yeah,
this is
exactly
what the Wuthering Waves community is about, and this is
again, he has been pushing out a lot of Wuthering Waves content recently, but because it's doing good, and I know that he does like Wuthering Waves as a whole, but it doesn't mean that that's the reason why he doesn't like Honkai Star Rail, you know? It's something completely separate.
Is a warning to future games. Stay away from the wuwa community and isolate them in their own games. Nobody wants their toxicity. Since we are on topic, let's take a look at the performances for wuwa and the small turn-based game.
The performances between Wuthering Waves and Honkai Star Rail, okay.
These are the current number of running ads on Meta by Wuthering Waves and the turn-based game. These are the current number of running ads by Kuro Games.
Okay, that's a kind of crazy thing to kind of edit your Kuro Games thing as. That's, okay. So, what he's showing off is the ads on Google. So 390 results and 82 results.
These are the current number of running ads by Kuro Games and Hoya
200
as a whole
by 200
on Google platforms. Do note that the Google number includes all of...
Right, so this is all of them. So they're running 200 ads for all of these games, and then 200 ads for just 2 games. Okay,
the games
that makes
by
sense.
Both companies. As you can see, Wuthering Waves is running significantly more ads than the turn-based game. So how does their numbers do? Here you can see the views of their latest hype video.
Okay, right. So first of all, the ads. Let's just address the ads first. Hoyoverse. If we think about Hoyoverse as a whole, how big are they now? They are massive, you know? They are one of the big, well, if not the biggest gacha game kind of company. And you know what comes with being the biggest gacha game company? Everybody knows you. So I think that the fact that saying that Wuthering Waves are running more ads for their games isn't kind of like a thing of like, oh, one game's doing worse than the other, because again, they're running more ads. That's just because they want to promote their game more. I think it's totally fine if Wuthering Waves want to run more ads for their smaller game, because let's be real, Wuthering Waves is a smaller game than Honkai Star Rail and Genshin Impact and Zenless Zone Zero, because they have the Hoyoverse name added to them. And that's like, you know, that's pretty much a fact. It's why Wuthering Waves run more ads, because it's less known. And they were less known because PGR had such an issue in the past where it was like, oh, there wasn't really much advertising for it. Now, PGR is a great game. It's just like, you know, they didn't do many ads, so not very many people knew about it. But in this fact, they're being like, okay, we need to do more ads because then our game's actually going to get noticed. And they've actually, you know, done that. And I think that's a very positive thing for Wuthering Waves to run more ads because, again, you can see how it's kind of, you know, happened. And you can see why it's kind of like evolved. And now you can see why Wuthering Waves is doing so good is because they've ran so many ads. Now, Hoyoverse obviously don't need to try as much because they're just big, you know? People will come over from Genshin. People will come over from Honkai Star Rail to Zenless Zone Zero and be like, okay, I already know this game. Like, you know, they just need to put out like a post on one of their other platforms and people will go over to it, which is why they don't need to run as many ads for a lot of their games. But with Wuthering Waves, they do. I hope I'm making a little bit like sense there. Is he saying that ads equals you're bigger? No, I'm pretty sure he's just saying that, like, you know, running more ads is that, you know, you're paying a lot of the views. I think that's what he's trying to like kind of get across. He's trying to pretty much bring up the point that like Wuthering Waves is botting a lot of their engagement and that this is why it's looking so popular. It's because they're running more ads, which again might be true, but also it means they are getting more interaction and I don't see anything wrong with it. Now, what I do see something wrong with, which again, this is Google ads, okay? So this is, you know, based off of like, it'll probably come up on YouTube, it'll probably come up on your search page, it'll probably come up on images, something like that. which is totally fine. That's just normal advertising. Where it does kind of not make sense, and which is where Hoyoverse do it a lot more than Wuthering Waves, is the kind of view botting on Twitch and places like that. If you don't know, even like TechTurns talked about this in the past, with viewbots on Twitch, it was a real issue with Hoyoverse creators, because what Hoyoverse would do, they would, see a popular creator or like someone that they've signed on to do stuff, and then they would bump them to the top of the category by, botting them like 1,000 views. And that's like known. That's a known fact. And they do it with video views as well. They literally do that. Now, Wuthering Waves, I don't know if they do that, but the thing is, Hoyoverse are known to do that, So I honestly think that's a much worse thing to do. If Wuthering Waves have been found to do that, then I do think, that isn't a very good thing either. I think it should just come naturally. But what, Hoyoverse are doing, they're kind of artificially botting views on something where it's more important about views, whereas this is just like putting out ads. It's like literally putting up billboards. It's like saying, there's 300 billboards that Wuthering Waves have put out, but Hoyoverse have only put out 100. He's like, okay, well, they're just doing better advertising. That's pretty much, what it means. They don't need to advertise their games too much because in multiple platforms. But yeah, HoYoLab definitely helps them out in that kind of aspect too. So yeah.
Here you can see the views of their latest hype video
different
for the
views.
two games. 200,000 in 23 hours versus 700,000 in 14 hours. On top of that, at the same time period, the small turn-based game was number 4 on trending for gaming. And even after 30 hours, they are still trending.
Bro, this is the dumbest thing ever. Bro, it's Hoyoverse versus Kuro Games. Hoyoverse have had a long history, and by the way, he's comparing, or she, or whoever they are comparing Honkai Star Rail with Wuthering Waves. Xenozone Zero, I can see why it's much more like a fair point if it's against Xenozone Zero, but you're talking about Honkai Star Rail, which has been out for like a year or two longer than Wuthering Waves, and already has that established audience, or not only has like the established Hoyoverse audience from Genshin Impact and other places like that. It's like, of course, Wuthering Waves is getting less views than Honkai Star Rail because it's literally right there. Hoyoverse is bigger. Like, no one's trying to say that Wuthering Waves is a bigger game than Genshin Impact or Honkai Star Rail. That's not the point. What they're trying to say is that Wuthering Waves is doing pretty good for themselves, not versus these other games, Like, yes, they might be doing better in terms of gameplay, but in terms of viewership, they're not going to beat it anytime soon at least. But maybe that will change in the future. But for now, I don't really get what the actual point is of this video, because it's like, yeah, Hoyoverse are more popular. Well done. Like, nice. I think bro's just trying to gain attention. Yeah, exactly. But I just want to, I kind of wanted just to look through this. I refuse to believe people are lacking in this critical thinking, especially their ZCZ pre-registrations. They got so many in such a short time. It's more convenient for Hoyovans. Yeah, exactly. Like, they just have better advertising that isn't on Google overall, and they find other ways to advertise. Whereas Wuthering Waves, as a new game, it is actually better to advertise on Google. Now, obviously, whenever like Genshin first started, whenever Honkai Star Rail first started, whenever Xenozone Zero first started, maybe not even whenever Xenozone Zero first started, but especially Genshin, they probably did advertise it more on Google because, again, it was a new upcoming game that no one had really heard about Hoyoverse. So they probably have more than 200 ads kind of, advertising that and stuff at the start. But now they're an established company, they've slowed them down, which obviously, gives you this kind of comparison. Thank you, RC Chaos, for the follow. He's farming Kurobots, exactly, and I'm right here, he just farmed me. Wuthering Waves has better graphics and gameplay, I couldn't care less about the views or revenue, exactly. I think that, what at the end of the day, it's just what the better game is, and as long as it has a pretty decent audience, which again, 169,000 views in 13 hours is still great for a gacha game, let's be real. There's a lot of gacha games out there that don't even hit that. A lot of the new ones coming out, I've seen some that have like 5,000 views on their opening trailer. It's like, brother, if this is dying, then they're really dying and they're really in the mud. Wow, what a useless thing to say. Why Mr. B's getting more views than some other big YouTuber, yeah. If Wuthering Waves was released during COVID time, everything would be Uno reverse. I don't know about that, I'm not really sure, but again, the COVID buff definitely did help Genshin. Alright, it's always 1 AM, I gotta go sleep, enjoy stream, have a good bye. Bye TGV.
Game was number 4 on trending for gaming. And even after 30 hours,
yeah, 30
they
hours,
are still
again,
trending.
It's
Here
just
are the statistics on Bilibili. The small turn-based game have about 2.5 times the views than Wuthering.
2.1 million on Bilibili. That's insane. That's insane for Wuthering Waves. You haven't really had this like first starting out thing.
Despite that, they have 4 times the likes, more than 5 times the user engagement, more than 10 times the saves, and about 5 times the shares, but only 2.5 times the views. That is because Wuthering Waves view numbers are inflated by ads, and their actual
Oh my god. Now, I do think it is true that Wuthering Waves do kind of advertise a lot of their stuff, and that's totally fine. I think that's totally fine. Now, I think that saying that just because, again, likes and view ratios, you can't prove why a video is doing better in likes or whatever than why, like, compared to the views. Like, even on my YouTube videos, I have some videos that have the same amount of views, but will maybe have like half the amount of likes, maybe because, you know, I said something bad, or maybe there's something that they didn't enjoy or something like that, which again, I think is totally why there is so much less engagement. And also, Hoyoverse just has overall more engagement. I think this is just a case of just Hoyoverse fans being very engaged with their audience and being very, with their company, sorry, and, you know, actually getting engaged with this stuff. I don't think, you know, there's any big reason to see, oh yeah, no, they're actually botting all their views and stuff. No.
Numbers are inflated by ads,
it's not like they're taking their money. Yeah.
Audience participation is actually much lower.
Okay.
As you can see, Wuthering Waves is running significantly more ads than the turn-based game and yet still generates so little traffic. It's actually hilarious.
Bro, I'm gonna be real. Gacha enjoy. So little traffic, it's hilarious. This video got 2.9 thousand views. Until you say that you got 202,000 views or 2.16 billion or 2.116 million views on Bilibili, then you can say it's hilarious. Until you actually reach that revenue, you can't be saying it's hilarious that it's getting like 202,000 views in 24 hours is mental. It's good. It's insane. Now, obviously, if I was to search up like what the Wuthering Waves, okay, let's see what. So the current video is at 241,000 views, which again is absolutely insane. I think that's very good for a gacha game that doesn't have a, you know, that much of a cult following like Hoyoverse does. It's got 30,000 likes, which is very good. But what you're missing out as well is a lot of the Twitter stuff as well, which has got over like 2 million impressions, some even more than that, which again, I think is insane. And also, you've got to factor in as well, there, you know, 2.16 million views is good because they are advertising more over to the east as well than they are over to the west. A lot of Western people, you know, they go over to YouTube more. A lot of people over in the east go over to Bilibili more. And as you can see, it is still very popular in Bilibili with 2.116 million views.
The hype for their newest expansion was destroyed hours later when the turn-based game made their announcement.
Right.
This has led to desperate official Wuthering Waves content creators to slander the game out of spite to revive the hype for Wuthering Waves. Once again, the Wuthering Waves community is highly toxic, and we should isolate them by rejecting them from our communities.
That's so dumb.
With Wuthering Waves running this amount of ads, how much do you think their revenue will be for November?
Again, it literally doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. There was like so many little like things that they didn't even get to the point of, which was kind of crazy. And overall, this Gacha Enjoyer account is just the most like rage bait kind of account I've ever seen. Again, leave my boy Ryuku alone. You know, he ain't done nothing. He's just expressed his opinion on a game. It's not because he plays Wuthering Waves. And a lot of your points are just incorrect here. It's kind of crazy how bad of a take you actually had here. It's crazy, but yeah, that's about all I got. Yeah, if you guys want to come over to the More channel and that you know you want to come over and see what's happening in live, we're all over here. So yeah. Come over to Twitch, it'll be down in the description below. Remember to like and subscribe, and yeah, we'll see you in the next one.